Hi, hello, welcome. Today we're doing a slightly different tutorial. Similar to my last video, we are not making a plushie. As you can see, I've made quite a few. We are making a scarf. I have not weaved the ends in yet, but this was my first time making granny squares, like legitimately. I've never made one. I don't know why it took me so long, but here we are. It's also my first time adding tassels. Loved that. That was a lot of fun. But since Christmas is coming up, I figured we should do some other projects. These are great, like beginner-friendly projects, like my project last week, this one now, that are perfect for somebody who wants to make a gift for Christmas for a loved one. This scarf is literally huge. It hits well past my waist, which I like. I will say my only flaw I've discovered is that because it is a heavier scarf, it does pull it a little bit more narrow. I think I might block this because I do want it to be like thick and chunky, but other than that, I really like it. I think this is like the perfect bigger, chunkier scarf without being too warm because of the opening slash like gapping in the pattern. They'll be like cozy, but not like sweaty, if you know what I mean. Like this is a good like fashion scarf. And like I said, it does have tassels. I have not trimmed them, but either way, super fun. This only took me probably like 3 hours to make, if that. So it does not take super long. I am not the best at telling you how to do a granny square because this was my first granny square project. So if you need help, go find another video, or I personally really liked the written tutorial. I found that a lot easier than a video tutorial. And then come back. I made, it was 11 squares total, and then 6 tassels for each end. But yes, let's go ahead and get started on this video. To start our scarf, I am using Premier Poppy yarn. This is a super bulky yarn. I'm using the recommended 9mm hook. This yarn is beautiful, and I am exclusively using this yarn for this project. I'm not switching yarn or anything like that. For our start, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as our starting chain, and then I'm going to go into our first stitch and do a slip knot all the way through, creating a loop. Then we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Now I will be honest, this is a very standard granny square pattern. So we're going to do now 2 double stitches. So 1, gonna do a loop around, then pull a loop through. So you have 3 loops on, pull through the first 2, then the last. So we did our starting, we chained 3 stitches, and then we did 2 double crochet stitches. Now we're gonna pull a little to the side, so that is one of our things. And like I was starting to say, this is a pretty standard granny square pattern. 1, 2, 3. Then we're gonna do a double crochet stitch, another double crochet stitch, and lastly another double crochet stitch. So this time we did 3. And then I like to pull them a little bit to make a nice square shape. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go back into the center and do double crochet stitch, double crochet stitch, and double crochet stitch. Because I don't think I was very clear, I didn't say it at least, we are going into the center of this for everyone. And then like I said, I just like to pull them slightly so they're all even. 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet stitch 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Then once we are done with that one, we go 1, 2, 3. We will go into the loop right here. I don't like to go into the top. I typically go into the side. And we'll go in through here, pull through this side and through that one a slip stitch, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3. Why I do that is I think it creates like a little bit of a nicer square, at least for me. So we did 3 stitches, and now we're gonna do 1, then 2 double crochet stitches, then just a single stitch, then we're gonna do 2 double crochet stitches into the next hole. So we did a single crochet stitch over this like bunch of 3, then we're going to do 1, 2, 3 double crochet stitches into the second corner here. Then I like to pull, then go 1, 2. After the 3 stitches, we are going to go back into the opening, doing 3 more double crochet stitches. So for every time you go over one of the previous, I guess we'll call them, I don't know, we'll call them blocks, I guess. We're just gonna do a single crochet stitch, or single crochet stitch, and then you do 3 into the opening, or I don't know, we'll call it the opening. And then I like to pull it a little bit here to create more of a square. And then since we are now going around, we do 3 here. Since we're ending, or we're, I guess, getting our edge here. So for the edges, we do 3. For above the cubes, we do 1. So I'll once again do 3 double crochet stitches into the opening, then a single, then double crochet stitches, 3 double, then 3 single, repeating all the way around till we get to here. So once we are around and we did our 3 to create our last edge of this round, we are going to once again go into this one, pull a slip stitch through, and we have our square continuing. So we are once again going to do 1, 2, 3. We'll chain 3, then do 2 double crochet stitches, and then so we're going to do a single stitch to create our open square, then 3 double crochet stitches to fill in the square. And then we're going to do another single crochet stitch to create an open square. Then, 3 double crochet stitches to fill in a square. So that's kind of going to be our pattern for this. What are these called? Every like round, row, square of the granny square. And then I'm going to pull this one a little bit because we're on the edge, try and make it a little more square. And then to finish out this side, we do 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go, since we're going into an opening, a open one, we are going to create or do 3 double crochet stitches and then we'll do a single over the block, 3 double into the opening, then the single over the block, 3 double into the opening, 3 chain 3 to create your edge, then 3 double into the opening, and repeating that pattern all the way around. We are back to the end, so 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go into this side, pull through, and then you'll cut your yarn, pull through. You want to leave just enough yarn where we can weave our pieces together to create our scarf. So don't cut your yarn too short, and then you will just make some more granny squares. I hopefully said at the beginning of the video, you will want 3 skeins of this. 2 of them, you'll make 3 squares. And with those 2, you'll have about this much yarn left. And then the other one, you'll make 4 squares, which only leaves this much yarn. I am doing tassels on mine. If you don't want to do tassels, I would maximize your yarn and make 4 squares out of every single skein. But if you're like me and want to do tassels, leave at least 2 of them with the extra yarn by only making 3. So make sure we have enough yarn to make a tassel. And if at the end, which I'll let you know, I don't need 2 of these balls and this plus this is enough, then I'll make another square as well, because I want this to be like big and long and cozy. I've already attached almost all of my squares except for this one, so I'm going to show you how I do it. I love these crochet needles I recently bought, because this is actually super easy to work with this thicker yarn. The ones I had before, which is right here, you can see the difference, like how much larger the opening is on this one. So I'll have this linked down below, because look how easy that was. Okay, so because this isn't in the corner, I'm going to weave this yarn into the corner of our square. So we're now in the corner, just weave very easily. And then we're going to go into the corner of our other square to start weaving together. Now with this, we are just going to want to do the very front stitches so we don't get a thick seam where they kind of like fold. Naturally, we want this to be very like, lay very naturally, kind of like it's all one solid piece. So maybe if I zoom in a smidge, ooh, not that much, there we go. I'll zoom in a smidge here, but we want to go into kind of our most top stitch and the most bottom stitch. We're just going to weave forward, and basically you just want to go to the front of the piece. So like the most bottom stitch, the most top stitch, we're going to weave back and forth, the most top stitch, the most bottom stitch, bottom, top. We're going to do that all the way across. We are now to the end, so we want to tie it off here. Whoops, I did not get all the yarn through. I'm going to tie off our end here by just simply pulling through the loop instead of pulling all the way tight. Just going to pull through there, and there we go. And you're going to do that till all of your squares are attached. And next we need to add our tassels. After adding the tassels to the one side, I did decide I will have enough yarn to do one more square. So for 2 of my skeins, I did 4 squares. 1 skein, I did 3. I think if you want this even longer, you do have enough yarn to do 4 squares with every skein which I think is a really, really great thing. That's a lot of big squares. This makes a nice long scarf. So I'm going to do one more square, I'm going to attach it, and then I'll show you how I did the tassels, and then our scarf will be done other than weaving the ends in, which I hate doing. We are now going to make our tassels. So the things we need is our yarn, scissors, and I went up to a size 10 crochet hook, 10 millimeter, because it's going to be a little easier to pull the yarn through. You don't have to, you can use your 9 millimeter, but I went up to 10. Just letting you know. But first you need one piece of yarn that is going to be kind of like for you to size up every other strand you do. Whoops. And then we are going to start cutting strips. And for each tassel, I am going to do 4 pieces of yarn. So I'm going to basically line up with this piece, which is my loose measurement piece. We're going to cut 4, going to have them as evenly laid out as possible. And then this is going to technically be the back side of my scarf. Scarves don't really have back sides, but it's fine. We're going to go into our end, wrap all 4 pieces onto here, and do our best to pull through. I will say, the first time I did this, it took a couple tries, and then we're gonna kind of even it out so all the pieces are a little more even, because some are too long, some are too short. So we're gonna try and get them a little more even here and make sure. Here we go. Once it looks much more even, I'm just going to use my fingers, pull all of the yarn through. So we kind of have this loop here, and then pull it tight. So there we go. There is our first tassel. Oh, you can't see it. There's our first tassel. Then we're going to do that again. So I'm going to take the yarn from the previous one right here. Gonna cut. Make sure I don't accidentally cut my scarf. That would be terrible. 2. These scissors are on their last leg. 3 and 4. So we have our 4 again, all approximately measured to my sample one. And I'm going to skip this one stitch, go to the second one here. That's where I'm going to put my hook through. And basically the best way to do it is kind of pull tightly down with your hand on your yarn, because that kind of pulls through the nicest. And then once again, even it all out. Once it's mostly even, I like to use just 2 fingers. Pull all of the yarn through, like so, and then pull it tight. So that's what our tassels look like. And so basically you're gonna skip like every stitch. So there's a stitch, there's a stitch. So we'll do here, and I'm basically gonna pause, do it, show you the next one. So we're gonna skip the stitch, go the next. So we're gonna skip a stitch, then go into the next one. So you should have about 6 or 7 tassels at the end. You can also add more. You don't even have to skip a stitch. You could do tassels in every stitch. It is up to you. But I'm going to have 6 stitches. I'll skip this stitch, and then you'll kind of have a little extra space at the end. So you'll kind of like skip 2 stitches at the end to have 6. But yes, so I'm going to add the rest of my tassels and then we're done. I don't know what happened to my mirror. It's really dirty all of a sudden, but I am done with my scarf. You'll also have to excuse my laundry behind me. I have not weaved in the ends, but this is the completed project. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I have a lot more crochet tutorials coming out very soon, as well as go follow my Instagram link down below. But I hope you enjoyed. Bye!